Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was on mute. So, hello and welcome. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We have Daniel with us for our co-pilot.
Sorry, I was on mute. So, hello and welcome. Thanks everyone
Just let me
for
just.
tuning in. Uh,
Oh, sorry. Let me just go again. It's just kind of the technical thing going around everywhere. So again, I'm just hello and welcome for Tech Day Pakistan Copilot and AI. We have Daniel with us, and Daniel will speak about top 10 Copilot use cases. So Daniel with share his knowledge and share the use cases with us. So Daniel, over to you. I can't see your screen. Can you share your screen again?
Let's try that one more time. Does
Yes,
it
I
work?
can now. Yep.
Perfect.
So let me just. Yep. So you can see your screen now. Yep. So you
Perfect.
can, yeah, you can take over from here now.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So first of all, welcome to everyone who's joining. Thanks for making this possible today, and thanks for inviting me. So I hope we have a very interesting 1 hour together. Let me show you some from my real customer projects with Copilot use cases because I really like to talk about this topic. Many people saying, yeah, Copilot can do many things, but what can it really do for me personally, or what can it really do for us as a customer? There are many functions, there are many features, many cool stuff, but what does it really provide? So let's have a look into that and let's see what I've brought. So before I start with the concrete examples, why do we need to talk about these use cases in general? Well, I see that a little bit as we are all currently standing on the train station. And there is a big train going by, and this train is called AI. And we need to decide whether when we join the train. So the train is not going pretty fast, meaning but it also has already arrived. So there are some challenges around AI, and we need to decide if and when we want to hop on the train and if we want to join this whole topic AI. And Copilot is one part of this train, and it's a very easy to use part of the train because Microsoft is providing a very low entrance to the train, a low entrance fee integrated into everyone's part of their daily work. So let's talk a little bit about the possibilities. Let's talk about what we can discover. My name is Daniel, already announced. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I'm a cloud architect. I'm working very closely with a lot of customers. I'm doing the whole modern workplace, the whole hybrid workplace a lot, also for a long time now. I'm hosting a podcast in Germany. It's called 365 Checkpoints. So if you have any German or at least German speaking friends, I'm currently working on a solution at bringing the podcast also in English. But right now it's only in German. If you want to be on top of all these currently ongoing AI topics, make sure to follow me on LinkedIn. I'm posting every week, multiple times a week. I'm trying to gather the latest information, mostly about Copilot, but also about industry solutions like Teams, like Forms, like Planner, and so on. So please make sure to stay ahead and follow me. You will for sure find a link somewhere in the chat, or at least scan the QR code. Find me with my name on LinkedIn. I'm sure for that. Okay, so let's dive right in. Um, what did I prepare for today? So we first gonna try to answer the questions how we find the use cases, or how did I find the use cases that I'm showing you today, and then we will see some of them. Because I have already held this session a few times now, I always updating that. So also this session today is new as of today. Um, so I also know from my previous sessions that I won't make it to 10, to be honest with you. So I have definitely more than I can show you today because I want to explain you a little bit more in detail. So how do we define these use cases? How do we find these scenarios? Well, at first, we need to think, how do we discover these scenarios? And by thinking about that, we have the first big thing on the left side, and it's called pain points. So when we try to find good scenarios, we want to make the world and the life easier. So we need to know what is not so easy in our daily life, meaning describing and finding current challenges. Of course, we often start with our own, but when I'm doing workshops with the customers, I ask the members of the different departments, with what technology do you work? What does annoy you in your everyday life? What are your general challenges in your business? And that are questions that help us defining things where we have pain points and where we have problems. And then there are also different personas. So when they are in a department, we often find different people, and we try to describe them and to define them in different personas. So either could be roles, meaning some legal role or some title in the company, could be different people from the company with different roles doing the same stuff. We often see those kind of project management topics, yeah, where we sometimes have leading architects, we have management persona or team leads, we have of course classical project managers, we have product managers, and these are grouped into the same personas. They are doing the same things, not even by doing and having the same role. And then we ask them, hey, what different things do you do the whole day? What challenges do you face? Where do these challenges present? And if these challenges are somehow inside the Microsoft 365 cosmos, then we have a great possibility that Copilot, M365 Copilot can help here. And then we go the next step. If they say, yes, I have definitely a challenge about this and that, then we try to find answers to that by describing it. So, how could Copilot help me on this topic? How could Copilot um, improve this? How can it make faster, better, cooler, more precise, better in quality, whatever? And this is what we call use cases. And then we gather different use cases and we categorize them and we prioritize them. And yeah, that's how we discover different use cases, different scenarios. Let me give you a few examples how I approach in these workshops. Um, in a real example here, we have a project manager, yeah, and a project manager has different things to do, has different challenges, yeah. For example, he needs to create kickoff slides. He needs to summarize meetings, ask for updates. He needs to check the project documentation, and he also creates new work with existing Microsoft planners. So when you ask them, where do you find the challenges? What annoys you on these topics? You ask the pain points. You try to find improvements. So, for example, on the kickoff slides, I struggle getting started and structuring the content. I struggle, forget to remind the people to make the meetings and correct the meetings. Sometimes I see that also meeting recordings to expire, so I cannot create a summary anymore. Also, sometimes for the project documentation, I, I have no I have no time to check the requirements um, at, to make it sure. So we have different possibilities, and I all gather everything in the scenario template. So every use case has a scenario template, meaning there is a role description as someone in and something this wants to do, and then we have a prompt for a possible solution. Yeah, so these three steps are really mandatory. And if you want to make the use case pretty good and make it complete, you also answer the question how to measure success. So I know this is successful when. And for even more complete discussion, you will say what the value is of Copilot and what is the value it's providing to you. So I would say enough of the talk before. Let's jump right in. What we always do, we use prompts. We use concrete prompts. So today I will show you a few different prompts that I have discovered that I use for these kind of use cases. But I'm not only showing the prompt. I try to generate a little bit of story behind it because we are now switching a lot between different personas, and I want you to give to get you the experience what the challenges of these personas are. So let's see um, what different scenarios we have. So the first one, it's a pretty easy one. I've got this from a company I was in a workshop with a legal guy, and he said, um, we are losing about 1 week per month by comparing inbound contracts because we are sending a template out to our customers and the customer sending the template back. And they have some options where they can enter text, but I don't know if they have not changed anything else. So I know you think, okay, well, they should use another solution for that. They should use an easier solution to make contracts the right way. Yes, they should, but that's not the point here. Yeah. So they are currently doing that. It's a big company. They are sending out contracts, and the customer is sending the contracts back. And now it's the goal to make the best out of that. So how can we see what changes have been made to a document? That means starting with this slide, we have someone in legal, someone in a project management or in an analyst position, wants to compare documents, wants to find changes and differences between documents. And you see the prompt already there. It says analyze file 1 and file 2 and list the difference between the documents. So I have in this example 2 feedback forms. One is called feedback form empty and one is feedback form filled out. Yeah, I think you can already think of what this now means. Now we have one is the feedback form empty. It's just a template, and then we have filled out information. So I'm sorry in advance. This screen video is pre-recorded and it's also in Germany, but let me guide you through what I'm writing here. So the prompt is pretty easy. I say compare it to documents and list all the changes in a table format. So this is in Word Copilot because Word Copilot can currently use Word documents and PowerPoints and also will now be able to use PDF documents and encrypted Word documents for references. And you see, it's giving me definitely an overview. So it's writing a little instruction, and then it says changes, and then we have the list. So on the left side is the question, and on the right side is the answer. So we see it also says above that it's that one is a template and the other one is filled out, and then it's now listing the answers. So it's really not only doing like a okay, this was left and this was right. It's really trying to set this everything in the right context. So it's really providing me additional information. It's really providing me an interesting insight for this kind of document. And you can do this for every type of document. Of course, you can use what I've done, like a template and a filled out form or the answers but you also can have like 2 completely different documents, or you can also reverse the question by saying, hey, I have 2 different documents here about a certain topic or about certain topics. In what different kinds do they differ, and in what different kinds are they maybe similar? So if you're finding sources between different documents, just use the documents as a reference and see what are the same things and what does it differ. So again, we are completely now changing the site. This was like a analyst and project manager site, and now we have someone doing product innovations. So I often deal with customers who are doing digital or also real world product, and especially the one with the with the digital products, they are really trying to innovate. So they're always on the need of new ideas. And that's where this kind of use case come in. So um, I spoke to a lady working in public relations, and she said, we are releasing so many products, and I always need to do the press announcements, and I do have not have an overview about in detail what the different products do. I don't understand the real technical differences between them. But we always have like a product description, and I always need to write a press statement. So it would be great if AI could help me do the work. So, as someone in marketing and internal communication wants to support new products, press statements, blog articles, and so on when publishing a new product. So we need some kind of reference file. Again, this is going in a very similar direction like before, with creating new documents from existing information. And yeah, let's see. So at first, I have a presentation here. And the presentation, it's called A Iconic Coffee. So the A Iconic Coffee is a document from, it's a PowerPoint presentation, of course, which is, also generated by myself with Copilot as I generated an idea. Let me quickly show it. So it has like a quick information. You see the coffee oranges. You find information about Brazil. You find a photo. You find information. Perfect cup of coffee, a blend. We also talk about sustainable coffee farming and customer reviews. So you see, it's not very large, but it is quite information. So, and for this presentation, I'm now asking Copilot, based on the product information in the PowerPoint, write a press statement that the product will be released on 28th July 24. Tone, very professional and exact. Start with Dear Sir or Madam, we are happy to release a huge innovation in the area of coffee into the EMEA market. So, a very short prompt, not very extensively, but a little bit precise. When thinking about the right ingredients for a prompt, we could even add more information or give more directions. But for this small test today, I just wanted to show you that on the easy way. So, press statement, iconic coffee blend launch in EMEA market. Dear Sir and Madam, we are happy to release a huge innovation in the area of coffee into EMEA market. That's what I said, and then the I goes on. A iconic coffee blend, the latest addition to our coffee product lineup is a premium blend of coffee beans sourced from the best growing regions in the world. The blend, blah, 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 blah. So now it creates a press statement. Yeah, see, it's about one full page as a press statement. And of course, maybe this is not the perfect press statement. And to be honest with you, we have two sides. First of all, when I call up Copilot for, oh, sorry, when I call up Copilot to do a press statement and just say, please do me a press statement, then it's looking into the GPT's trained model and looking how does a GPT model define a press statement. And with these parameters, it's creating a press statement. So if I don't like the output and the way it is written, I need to tell it in the prompt. So if I see, okay, my press statement is always structured like this and that, you either need to tell Copilot or you need an existing template file as a reference. So as you've seen earlier, I also can add multiple files as a reference. So I could also do this and have, say, like a press statement template from myself, where I have a press statement. I use it as a reference, and it could give me more precise or more answers that sound like myself. So that's very important. If you call up functions, and this is not only a press statement, this is like for things, please create a kickoff presentation. Please create a technical information. Please write a blog article. Always when I'm using like predefined document types or types of information, Copilot is referencing to its own model and looking into its own model how it defines a good blog article. And if I don't like this way, then I definitely need to tell him in the prompt or give him another reference file how I like my press step and my blog article, whatever. Okay, so that being said, that's the first part that is very important. And the second part, and this is really for everything we are talking about today. When we're doing stuff by generating content from Copilot, and if the quality may be not perfect, that's for sure, but it is the starting point. We do not expect currently to give Copilot or any AI, not ChatGPT, not any model, to give us a finished product because we are not so far in technology. That's very important. We are not so far in technology. But to be honest with you, someone writing a press statement, having a good reference file, having a good prompt, starting with that saves us at least 30 minutes, if not more. I would even say more, maybe for this case, an hour. Because if I don't know really what's in the product and I can just use an existing file, I don't need to look closely into the file and I don't need to start with different people and say, hey, what do you exactly targeting for a market and can you give me some insights? No, when it's in the document, I can just reuse it. And I'm saving really quite amount of time by simply going in, by simply using that and not starting from zero, starting at maybe 50, 40%. And I think that saves a lot of time. So, but currently this was only one prompt. Let's go a few steps further. So in our product release, in this case for the AI Iconic Coffee, we're thinking, okay, now I have a press statement. Now I need to announce that I have created a press statement and I need to announce um, that we are releasing this product. So I'm changing the Copilot. I'm now using the Copilot chat that is available at copilot.microsoft.com. So on the very top left, you see there is a switch called work or web. Meaning with the work, you have full access to all your documents inside your company that is using Copilot. And with the web, you don't have access to that, but you can access the web. On the work side, you can enable a plugin that accesses the web, while on the web, you can't access your documents. So you need to think about the usage and you need to think that what you want to use intentionally. So what would be the next step for someone in the public relations team? Maybe you say, hey, based on the product, create a LinkedIn post announcing the product will be released on 28 July 24. Generate hashtags and emojis. Also create a Teams post that announces the public the go live of the product and mention that a press statement has been released and there will be LinkedIn posting to motivate our staff to share that. So 2 things in one prompt: generate a LinkedIn post and generate a Teams post. Let's see how it's doing. So at first he writes, here is a LinkedIn post to announce the go live, and here is a Teams post. And you see, it definitely did that what I wanted to do it. So on the Teams announcement, it says, we are excited to share that our iconic coffee blend is officially going live today. This is a significant achievement for all of us, and we couldn't have done it with your hard work and dedication. So this is definitely a posting that is into the internal direction, not into the public. And then a press statement has been released with a series of LinkedIn posts ready to spread the world. Let's make some noise and show the world what we are capable of. So that is not, when I read this, to be honest with you, this is not generic AI. This sounds like a real human has written that. And I like that. Let's make some noise. That's not something like a poor English speaking person like I would say it. This sounds like someone who can really speak and write in English, not like myself. Yeah, and then please share our LinkedIn post and help us reach as many coffee enthusiasts as possible. Your support can make a huge difference with a handshake, with a coffee. I really like that. So, great thing. We already has 2 steps, creating a press statement. Now we have 2 postings. Now let's do the next thing for this product release. I'm going on into this conversation with Copilot and so now generate a description for a text to picture AI. So it can generate us a matching picture for these postings. Okay. In this case, I make it more concrete. I say, please generate a prompt. I like to ask AI to create its own prompt because then I'm not the one who made the false prompt. It was AI itself. So it has created a prompt, and now I need a text to picture AI. Luckily, I have one right on my hand. It's the Copilot. I need to switch to the web version, and now it's generating an image. I just pasted the prompt, and let's see what the work Copilot thought would be a good picture for that coffee product announcement. Already there, looks good. Looks like a very cool picture for that announcement. I'm happy because it made the text right. So you probably have tested that yourself, and when you've tried to integrate text into pictures of the image creator, you will find that it's not always doing a great job, but in this kind, everything was right. So I think that shows you a little bit how AI helps you on a journey like this, and it helps you to do things you need to do on your own repeatedly. And with the help of AI, you can save quite amount of time. And let me give you also the other side of this topic. So this was like when we have finished a new product. Many of our customers also use AI to generate new product ideas, either of the existing portfolio or out of the blue. So when we're working with creative companies, for example, some of them doing like games, mini games for TV shows. You know, when you're watching a TV show, they always have these funny ideas. Yeah. So please answer 20 questions while hanging upside down and getting cake in the face. Yeah. So very creative idea, but someone needs to come up with that. And these companies, they are specialized to generate these type of ideas, and they have a huge database. So to make sure that it's not generated any idea that has already been created, we can use AI. We often use also some kind of machine learning for that to understand what has already been done and generate additional ideas. Or we have some companies um, who have existing products, and also they have something it's called in Germany we call it patent. Let me just quickly look what it's. Yeah, it's also a patent in English, and the things are reserving the rights to a certain product for these customers, and they're feeding their patents into AI and saying, "Hey, what different products can we use or can we create based on that?" And of course, AI is generating maybe 20 ideas, and 18 of them are rubbish. But the 2 of them, you go further and you explore, and you don't need to the idea generation by yourself. And that's also where we can save time by generating new ideas with AI. So the next use case is a pretty complex one, or if not the most complex I have brought to you today. So it is gathering information from different systems or combining information from different systems. And this one is dedicated or focused, for example, for people working in IT. So for someone who's working in IT, you probably have different sources and different systems that you're looking information up. In this case, it will be Jira, but that also works exactly the same like Service Desk, ServiceNow, Zendesk, Freshdesk, um, whatever. In this case, it's Jira. Okay. So what I want to find are different informations spread around, in this case, of our Jira ticketing systems. And I want to research this information and go back to a customer who needs help. So let's look into that. At first, we want to make sure in this case that we have enabled a Jira connector. So in this case, we are using our Copilot M365. In this case, it's integrated in Teams. And I ask the Copilot about Jira tickets. So usually if you try that now in your environment, that won't work because you probably have not configured or integrated a Jira connector. You need to do this in first place. Yeah. So you can use nearly any third party connection that is available via the Power Platform via the Copilot to access data from it. But you need to do that at first place. So in this case, please think about that we have done this. So we have an existing connection from Copilot, of course, to our default Microsoft systems like SharePoint, OneDrive, and so on, and also into Jira from Atlassian in this time. So I asked Copilot find any Jira tickets about DNS issues. So about the topic DNS issues. If you found that, then draft an email that I can send to the users based on the help desk knowledge base article on flushing DNS. So 3-step here. First, find Jira tickets about DNS issues. Also meaning by that, look into these tickets. What are the challenges? What do they need to do? Then, second step, draft an email with a solution. But you don't just draft an email and think of a solution on your own. No, you look into our help desk article, depending where this is, could be also in Jira, could be in another third-party system, could be on SharePoint, based on the help desk knowledge-based article on flashing DNS. So that's important because you don't want the AI to give any answer. You want a concrete answer. You want to have a real answer that is based on your internal knowledge base database. Okay? So that's important. Now let's see how it's doing. So he looks for Jira tickets. He looks for knowledge based articles. He's searching. Now combining everything. And he's found something. So let's stop right here. At first, he says, I found a Jira ticket in the enterprise search that mentions a DNS failure when manually connecting VPN. The ticket is titled Jeremy Chapman Kotoso DNS failure when manually connecting to DNS. Okay. And also, he say, I found a help desk knowledge base article of flushing DNS with these 9 steps. Based on this information, here's a draft on an email that you can send to the users or to the user, in this case, from the ticket. So now it has combined the two information. It has combined the knowledge base article into an email, and it has combined the content from the ticket, what the problem was. Okay, and now you see everything turning together, and you also see in the reference part where he got the information from, and that's very interesting. So now let's have a look at these. You can just hover over the reference here and see that it says, okay, there is the ticket. And it's now opening this ticket in an adaptive card. Did you see that? You just can click on Edit Issue. Please remember, we're in the Copilot window. We are not in Jira. We're still in Copilot. We have an adaptive card, clicking on Edit Issue. and now it's opening, and I can start editing my Jira ticket that is in a completely other system right from the Copilot where I've just used generative AI to generate this information. I can now add a description. Probably I can also send the email from there. I can edit the task in this case. So imagine you have just done this with manual steps, writing an email, combining the information. It took you like an hour or maybe 45 minutes, and you're doing that in 5 minutes or in 2 minutes even. Yeah, and you can edit the ticket. You don't need to click it and open the browser, log in, single sign on. No, it's already there. The connection is pre-made. The connection is there in the background, and it just works. And that's what I really like. That really saves time, and not only time, it it makes the daily life a little bit easier, not switching between different tabs and not switching between different topics and parts. And this is really, really cool. So if you want to have a look on that, really these integrations into the third parties, it's really a huge benefit that is working with Copilot, in my opinion. So let's dive in this topic one more time a little bit deeper. These extensibility options for Microsoft 365 Copilot, we have different possibilities. So first, if you have an existing Power Platform configuration and want to connect the existing data, you just can use a Power Platform connector to access these external data into Copilot. If not, you have the possibility to connect informations to the Copilot. So the one is accessing data in real time, and the other thing is accessing information and adding information into Copilot's knowledge. Yeah, meaning you can do this via Microsoft Graph connectors. So, for example, if you have a Confluence from Atlassian, or if you have any intranet hosted on a third party, you can connect it to Copilot, and Copilot has additional information and can use it into its knowledge by indexing it and adding this to information from, for example, SharePoint, adding that from information from Teams and so on. And if you have the possibility to create a Teams messaging extension, you can create a Copilot plugin. So that meaning you can call up different Copilots that are specified or that have connections to other third parties. Just right into Teams. So you have different extensibility options for Copilot, and we also say you can make your own Copilot by building a Copilot that had a default connection to different third-party products. So let's see how that looks when we call up this Teams message Copilot. So in this case, we have a Copilot is called support content author, and this author is just giving us. So what do we have here? We have like a information above. You see Intune remote help, usage instructions, Windows logon, password reset. So we have two things that we have generated that are helping the user to do certain things. So now we want to bring it into our systems. So we call up the support content writer, Copilot, and it automatically has a prompt. Update a wiki article about remote help and add first steps of making sure that the user has logged on in. Okay, but this is in contact with the open support content author. And then he's taking the information from above, using that, and then writing a very special formatted content that can now copy paste it into our help desk, for example, or into our knowledge base articles. So now calling another Copilot, the support report writer. And it's also, you see, it's giving us a certain formatted version of that. So this is already a small implementation how different mechanics can be used from Copilot by giving them information before and letting accessing them additional systems. So enough tech stuff. Let's dive back into the more use cases that probably you can use. We have the research and save meeting summaries. So meeting summaries is one of the main points I am talking for like 7 or 8 months now. And it's a great feature. The meeting summaries from Teams Copilot are excellent. I really like to use them, and it's very, very cool stuff. But recently I stumbled over when I wanted to call a formal meeting summary, or I wanted to call a formal meeting and create a meeting summary or research on a transcript. And then my team said me, this is not longer available. And I was like, hey, wow, okay. So if you don't know, the Teams meeting recordings, transcriptions, and also the the recordings have a expiration time that is set by your IT organization. And if you did not change that, it's per default, I think 6 months or so. We have it shorter. We have it like 3 months. So 2 months ago, I wanted to call a meeting from January, and it says this does not longer exist. So I was not able to find that information. So I thought, this would be not really handy for a manager or for a project manager who is having like 1 or 2 years running projects. So how can we come up with that? We have 2 steps here. First of all, we want to save the meetings or the at least at minimal product the summaries. So we have like a default template for our meeting summaries that we can use with Copilot, and we want to save those summaries into a location where we can also research it. So, for example, if we had a meeting last year in October where I first said, "Hey, we might have a issue in our project budget that if we continue to work like you wanted, dear customer, will have an issue about February or March." And then when I mention it again, um, I always can see that in the meeting summary. So, but if I now want to call back, I don't have access to the meeting summary any longer because the transcript is no longer there. So I want to store all the meeting summaries so I can research it when I first said it, for example, or just want to generate information. So the first steps on the left side, you see we have the Copilot for Teams window here, and just say a very generic prompt like generate a comprehensive meeting summary, list the participants, points discussed, open issues, and next steps with bullet points. So this is a very small, very first session. Sorry, a very easy to use prompt. And now it's generating the summary for me. So it starts with the participants, with the points discussed, and so on. And now taking this meeting summary, I'm doing this for every meeting that I'm doing in the project, and pasting that into Microsoft Loop. So let's see how that works. So just typing in this case the date, I'm adding that where the meeting has taken place, and then I just copy the meeting summary from the left side. So I have it in Microsoft Loop, and I can do 2 things now. First thing, I can mention my colleagues and say, hey, I've just pasted in for our today's team meeting what we have discussed with the customer, and they are easy to jump in and correct that. If that is not wrong, if certain informations have maybe taken wrongly by Copilot, they can just correct it, or they can add information. If Copilot says Daniel has agreed to post a PowerPoint regarding some examples, then I could just jump right in and mention the file or send a link to the file. So first steps, colleagues can edit that. And then it goes even better. So please remember, Microsoft Loop is a mostly web-based product. So what I can use, 2 things, either the Copilot in Loop, but not perfect for this topic because the Loop Copilot is pretty currently limited to what it can do. So it can draft page content from Scrap, or it can just summarize the whole page. So in this case, we want to access the Microsoft Loop via the Edge extension on the right side and use the Copilot Edge in this case, because we can limit the Copilot in Edge to just a certain page. So in this case, I just ask generate a summary of this page with the most relevant points from the discussions. And while it's doing that, I will show you a really cool mechanic here. So the first thing is, of course, I'm just generating a summary. That's pretty basic stuff. But I also can ask like, hey, when did I say this and that? And what was the conclusion about topic ABC? Or what kind of topics do we often talk in our meetings? And it can point that out. And that is really cool. And now I show you the most practical thing in this case. You have already seen the references from the other M365 Copilot. You can just click on a certain topic here, and it just directs you where it has been said. So you will jump right around the page and see the reference from the Copilot. So pretty cool, pretty neat stuff. I really like that. And it's pretty cool, handy. Please remember that the Edge Copilot can always be called on any website. You can always use it. And of course, it works for Loop. So a really, really great integration. Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Uh, then let me finish it up with a very common use case. Two very short ones. So first is someone like me, like a speaker, like a workshop moderator. I really like to get input from myself. I like to get feedback from my sessions, and sometimes this is not easily possible because maybe I don't get feedback. So I can just ask AI based on a transcript, based on a video, how was my performance? Improved. What were areas to improve my speaking? Yeah. What are positive behaviors I'm making? How was the interaction with the attendees when you have like a workshop going on? Or also, what are, and this is my most productive questions, what are the asked questions from the participants? And what was the answer I gave in the workshop? Please summarize that and make a FAQ article out of that so I can just copy paste it into SharePoint, for example. So this is a very cool topic. You can always use it when you're having a transcript in Teams Copilot. And the last thing I want to show you for today is, and I'm sure you know that, but I have a very special thing here. You can generate pictures with AI. You have already seen that. And I always know the pain because people say, does it really have a benefit? And yes, for marketing department it has, because you see, if you have iStock, if you have Shutterstock, it costs a lot. For 10 downloads a month, you're paying 65 euros in this case, 650 per picture. And Copilot gives you 4 pictures with one prompt. And now I say, yeah, but these AI generated images, you see it's AI generated. Maybe you see it, but not everyone sees it. I guarantee that to you. And even the
Yes.
big players are using that. Here are some 2 real-world examples of that. First, of course, Microsoft. Yeah, they use this picture, and you can clearly see, if you look in detail, that this is an AI-generated picture. I have probably seen this woman in 100 different scenarios in 100 different cities. In this case, she's working on her laptop on the beach. But not only Microsoft is eating this own dog food. We also have, in this case, Barilla. It's the Italian manufacturer of pasta. And I maybe scrolled through this picture 2 or 3 times. And only on the third time, I recognized this is an AI generated picture. And I think this is really crazy when you think a big company like Barilla is generating a picture with AI, and you can see it on the logo. On the logo, on the first on the top two Barilla packages, it's clearly not the real logo. It's a logo that AI made up that looks a little bit like the Barilla logo, and they're using that for advertising. They're spending thousands of euros on YouTube advertisement with these logos and with just a AI generated picture. So if you say I can't use AI generated pictures in my pitches or in my PowerPoint presentations, you're definitely wrong. The big companies use that and use it for their profit and making money out of that. So you can start right away and use that.
Exactly, exactly. Like hardly anyone can notice that it is AI generated. Like as you have mentioned, like you have picked it up after viewing it for the three, fourth time. Then you pick it up that this is a
Yeah,
AI based picture. Yeah. So I I don't think that's it would be like yeah like you can use the like you can use because it gives you like the four different variation of the of an image, so you can use either of like any one of those four, yeah, and then use it and see how does it go. So maybe someone come back and see like no, it's a bit too animated or too blurry or something, the fine details. But I think it's nowadays it's quite those images are quite good, the details are very good, which I have seen.
yeah,
I've tried to produce some like the pictures from Indian subcontinent or from the Australian countryside, and but so the details are very good. All those mountains
yeah,
or the color of the sand or the
yeah.
desert or the trees within that setup. It's quite like
Yeah.
relevant to that what we are asking for, so
And in the
it's quite
latest
good.
update from the DALL-E or the Microsoft designer that is using DALL-E, you can also choose the aspect ratio. So it's you're no longer limited to a 1 by 1 square image. You can use a 16:9 image or also
So we can
a
like we can create the YouTube thumbnail image as well.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, exactly, like the YouTube thumbnail image or something
Yeah,
for our PowerPoint presentation banner.
exactly. You're not longer
So
limited to the
yes,
square image. You can really now use either yeah, different
or
different
like the Instagram live
yeah,
the front image.
exactly.
Yeah, fantastic. I think if we are going into a very different direction, like from the days of SharePoint, and now we are just going into like Copilot and AI and all
Yeah,
this stuff. Like the information you are getting and the relevant information you're getting, as you have mentioned, as you have shown us, like all those, like all those details. So why would our marketing department require an IT guy? They can
yeah,
do by themselves.
yeah. I mean, 650 per picture. That's hilarious. Think of
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
A Copilot is doing 4 pictures in like 30 seconds, so
Yeah,
it's an equivalent to 24 euros or
yeah, exactly.
25 euros every
And
time you generate.
hardly noticeable. Like you would
Yeah,
just goes and someone says, "Oh, only this is AI generated," then you go
yeah.
back and say, "Okay, okay, I can see now."
And you still can use it as your background or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
your starting point. You can still, I mean, Barilla would be still able to just overlay the real logo over the AI generated, but they
That's it.
even didn't. They just tried it out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so
Yeah,
easy.
that's it. Like yeah, why you just spend your bucks or efforts creating an image which can be generated from the AI, right? So which is
Yeah.
that's really good. I think I have learned so much from your presentation, Daniel,
Thanks a
and
lot.
it's really good, really good. So your video would be available in our YouTube channel.
Great.
So because we are streaming live on
Yes, I know.
YouTube as well, LinkedIn and Facebook. So it's available on all those three platforms. So thanks, Daniel. Thanks for your time, and it's really lovely having you on our event. And hopefully we will see you later as well.
Thank you very much for hosting this event. Thanks for making this possible. And everyone who wants to gather more information, be sure to follow or to connect with me on LinkedIn. So I'm always posting stuff like that. And if you like that today, that sure would be beneficial for you.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks a lot. See you later.
Thanks
Cheers.
a lot.
Bye.
Bye.